Hello, print friends. My name is Reynaldo Gil Zambrano, and I have been printmaking for 8 years. In the summer of 2021, we decided to travel and document the growth of contemporary print with the shared stories of artists and curators living in the US, giving you a look inside their studios. Prepare to join us for a journey through the inspirations that made us fall in love with the art of printmaking.
Do you believe in them, the print gods?
If there are print gods, I can only say I probably pissed them off. Our shrine to Seinfelder up on the wall, who's kind of our lithography deity, and I always tell students if the lithography is not going correct, take a little piece of litho crayon and put it in the little offering can up there, and they say it seems to work. My name is James Bailey. I'm a professor of art in printmaking at the University of Montana in Missoula, Montana. I teach everything from lithography to screen printing, monotypes, book arts, etching, relief. This is now my 25th year. I was born in New Jersey and moved briefly to Dayton, Ohio. But then my parents moved to Minneapolis, Minnesota. And so I grew up there for the most part, so I can still kind of consider myself a Minnesotan down at heart. I moved out to various places. I was in South Dakota for a couple years, Wyoming for a couple years. I was out here prior to coming out here a second time and eventually relocating here permanently. Early on, I just really got into drawing. For every year for Christmas, my favorite present would be getting like the large set of magic markers. And actually, when I first got here to the University of Montana, the newspaper interviewed me here. And I told them that story about how I had my first show at age 5 of magic marker drawings. And so the title of the paper came out and said, like, magic marker artist to teach at UM. And so it sounded like they just hired a 5-year-old to teach here, which, of course, most people think, oh, my 5-year-old could do that. So now they just hired one. So anyhow, my colleagues were giving me a hard time about that for a while. Being an artist in printmaking, I started off with a B.F.A. in drawing and painting. But when I was a student in undergraduate school, I took etching and I took lithography, and I really found that I loved the printmaking process. And I think in terms of what I'm excited about in the future is just that there's more and more printmakers out there. There seems to be a lot of small shops popping up here and there throughout the Northwest. Community is a really important aspect for printmakers at large, I believe. I've been going to print conferences all over the United States, so it's an amazing way to meet other artists. In the studio, that comes into effect by the fact that you're printing side by side with people, helping each other, problem solving, doing little mini critiques as projects are coming up. And so I think that's why printmakers are a little different. We're more than happy to share our little secrets.
Do you want Tiki drinks? You want to try a Mai Tai?
Yeah. Especially if I get to drink it out of one of those
Okay.
cups.
We do like our beverages, and I like to be a nice mixologist myself and have various get-togethers where we're creating the cocktails. And that also is a way of developing that community. I think the discussions on art and printmaking get a little more involved when you suddenly have a beer in your hand and you can have, the day's duty is done in a way, and I can just kind of kick back and relax. I think mixing cocktails has a lot of similarity to printmaking. Following the proper proportions, having good ingredients. Even when you're just mixing inks, you're doing 1 part magenta to 2 parts Mediterranean blue maybe. And it's all that mixing together and getting the proportions correct, paying attention to that. It's the important thing. So it's an important part. I've met a lot of great people over a beer. But I think that's another thing that draws me to printmaking is there's just nice people.